Welcome to Subramani. There are a lot of things which you keep learning from various disciplines, though it's not to say that all the investment learning will happen because you read books on investment. So, very odd kind of an example. I have a person I know who did science. And she wanted to do medicine, but she did not get into medicine. So she did something like MSc microbiology or something like that, which is pretty close to medicine in her head at least. And she learnt a lot of medical and pharmaceutical terminology. And one of her hobbies was to learn French and German. So she cleared very many levels, maybe 6-7 levels of those languages. Then she got married, she went abroad, and there she did an amazing amount of translation work, especially medical translation. Huge amount of medical translation she did, especially from English to German and English to French. Fairly obvious that these subjects, so there was no thought that this is what she will do. Similarly, when you see the life of Leonardo da Vinci, I mean, you could know him from The Last Supper or Mona Lisa, and he was there really long back. He was a person who did a lot of work, including science. He studied about the blood flow, and there are things which he proved which science actually proved only after 450 years, right? So here was a very well-read man who specialized in many professions, including science, and of course art. He was really world famous, and that's what created him. So that is another important learning, that you read right from anthropology, biology to zoology. Just read everything. See as much as you can read. I mean, there are so many books here which have nothing to do with investing, right? So reading about Leonardo da Vinci, or about Charlie Chaplin, or about emotions, etc. Reading, talking to people, creating your own satsang where people come and tell you how they lost money, how they made money, how as a venture capitalist they withdrew at the right time, or as a venture capitalist they said no to an investment which looked very good after some time, for a long time, maybe 2-3 years, and then the whole thing came crashing, or the whole thing went up, and how it was a miss bus. Right. So all these kind of stories you get to hear and listen only when you have a wide range of friends, which means a great satsang, and a wide range of books. So wide range of friends to create may not be very difficult, but may not be very easy. But buying books and reading a variety of books definitely helps as an investor. Reading many disciplines, specializing in them, doing well in all of them, or doing well in some of them, all these things are very important as an investor. Second thing which I learned, which is my experience, is you do what you think is right. So if you have bought a share which is giving you a good dividend yield, maybe 7% dividend yield, and then the share price goes up, and goes up dramatically, and everybody tells you that actually yield is to be calculated as dividend divided by market price, and today you are not getting a great dividend yield. If you are happy with the original dividend yield and you think that that's a good number to have, and the company is increasing dividends, so your dividend yield is increasing, don't fall for these stories. These stories don't really matter, because they will tell you now it is fully priced. Now take for example, I bought Apollo Hospital at 9 rupees, okay, just 9. Then it was a fantastic dividend yield story, but at 135 the dividend yield story had completely disappeared. It was no longer a dividend yield story. So I sold off, because it's no longer a dividend yield story. You don't have to buy that logic, right? You can then say, oh no, it's going to grow something else, so it's no longer a dividend yield, so I will, it doesn't matter, I will hold it as a growth story. And then I bought it again at 400 or something, and then sold again at 900. Then bought again, and I'm still holding. So there is no particular reason to follow a story and say, oh, this story is over, so now I should sell. Use your own experience and not what fund managers tell you. Most fund managers do not know why people invest. They think everybody who is investing is to beat the market and things like that. That's not true. I am here to meet my goals, and if I can do that, to me it doesn't really matter. Every fund of mine and every investment of mine need not beat the market and should not beat the market. To me it doesn't really matter. Overall, if my dividend income is much more than my expenses, why would I even bother about the total value of my portfolio? Forget individual parts of it, right? So use your experience, use what suits you rather than what you hear on YouTube or channels, including this channel, right? Don't bother too much about it. Use your own experience, see where you made money, and make sure that it is robust experience and not just luck. Then if it is luck, it is going to be very difficult to duplicate. So using your own experience is much better than believing what fund managers tell you. One more good habit which I think which has helped is to make notes, to write a blog, to keep a diary, to tweet, whatever. Keeping notes of what you are doing, keeping track of what you are learning and how you are applying, right? All those things also help. So maybe you should start writing down whatever you feel about what will happen in the elections, who will win, and all those things. If you can keep writing down thoughts, after some time you will find that some of those thoughts were nonsense, some of those thoughts were right, and then it gets you a chance to learn and work on what kind of thoughts of yours were right and what was wrong, right? So all that is it is not always that you will have rational thoughts. So once you write down, you will realize after some time that during turbulent times you had irrational thoughts, but you still did not act. Or you had rational thoughts during that time, and that was very useful, and therefore you did not sell. See, whatever it is, writing or diarying, journaling, whatever you want to call it, definitely is a big help in life. Another important thing is stay curious about the things that are happening around you, right? But it does not mean you have to understand it completely before you can invest. I need to know how an electric car works before I buy Tesla. May not have worked, right? So it does not matter too much. And second, if you are finding understanding technology or any particular field challenge, go and invest in in the sectoral fund. For example, I have shares, I have many pharma shares, I have some hospital shares, but I don't understand the pharma industry. So I have invested in 2 pharma companies, in 2 pharma funds. One is a healthcare fund and one is a pharma fund. So I do a SIP in one and I do a lump sum in the other. Just like when I feel that the prices are too depressed and the whole industry is doing badly, I go and put a lump sum in the pharma fund, and in the healthcare fund I am doing an SIP, right? So this is the way to attack industries which you don't understand. So technology I don't understand, so I put money in a technology fund. I have put money in one infrastructure fund also, because they've taken a very, very different view of infrastructure and they've done well. So some of these things which I have done have worked for me. So see what will work for you. But yes, being in a fund which does not invest in BFSI or things like that, it might look very oh wow, it's too risky, because these are some of the best steady companies. Well, it might suddenly pay you very good dividends, simply because there are fund managers who said we will not even look at BFSI, we will look at something else, and those funds have done very well as of today, right? So these kind of things will keep happening. So learning is important, staying curious is important, but not understanding doesn't mean you don't invest. You say, oh, technology is too complicated, I won't invest. That may have worked for Buffett, but it may not work for you. So go and put money in a technology fund or a pharma fund, any industry which you don't understand. Best is to go and put money in the best performing fund of that sector. To me, that has worked. Thank you.